So I have this file, just a simple zip archive, a compressed folder called NTDS, and we can go ahead and extract the contents. I just want to show it to you. Looks like I have the files here, ntds.dit, and a file called system. Now, you might already be familiar with what all of these are. NTDS, or that NT data store, and presumably a system export of that, Windows registry contents in that HKey local machine hive. These could be the ingredients that we might use as an ethical hacker, red teamer, or penetration tester to try and track down credentials or passwords in a Windows Active Directory environment. So just to make things easy for us to be able to work with these files, I will bring them into Kali Linux. I would just like a little bit more of a cybersecurity focused and purpose-built environment for us to work in, something with a lot of the tools already installed and pre-configured. So I will log in, open up a terminal with Control-Alt-T, I'll full screen with F11, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see this, because I want to move into a directory that I have created for us called Scratch NTDS. That's just a little place, a little home for myself like a scratch pad to work with this, and I do have that same exact zip archive ready for us to work with. Let me go ahead and unzip that here, and just as I mentioned, it looks like we do have a MS Windows registry file for that system material along with the ntds.dit. Now this is an extensible storage database. It is a little bit special because it contains all the information about Active Directory user objects, groups, and their memberships. And when we put our hacker hat on or want to try and uncover passwords or credentials, normally we would see the SAM file, a database sort of setup in a local Windows environment, but NTDS clues us in that this will be an Active Directory environment that we might be trying to beat up. To give you just a little bit more background context, I did want to reference this awesome article from Hacktricks. And you can find this online at book.hacktricks.xyz. You know, all those awesome notes put together by my good friend Carlos Pullup. And he's got this article, a collection of all this stuff called Stealing Windows Credentials. He walks through how you might be able to do this in different environments with different tooling, using different techniques, maybe in some cases like Mimikatz, as you might be familiar with, that crazy utility to be able to dump potentially clear text passwords from memory, maybe doing something with Meterpreter, that access with Metasploit, or trying to bypass antivirus like using procdump from the sysinternal suite, legitimate signed Microsoft binary. There are a whole lot of other really cool ways you can do that, and they dig into all of it, along with dumping some hashes and the database stuff that you could see for, again, SAM, maybe that local example, all with the tool crackmapexec. Now you might be able to use netexec these days, but note they mention ntds.dit from the target domain controller. They showcase that with crackmapexec, but maybe there's a little bit more we could do. They do, of course, include that system location from the registry. Remember, that's an HKLM, that HKey local machine hive. But let me scroll down a little bit more to talk about the Active Directory credentials, ntds.dit. The ntds.dit file is the heart of Active Directory, holding crucial data about user objects, groups, and their memberships, as I stated. It is also where password hashes for domain users are stored. So this file is a juicy target for us. And if you weren't already tracking, that's usually at the system root environment variable, not system room, C:\Windows typically, /ntds/ntds.dit. So what we could do with these files is extract some of the contents and then try to crack the password hashes, and maybe if they have a weak and insecure password, uncover the actual plain text credential that they would use to log in to this Active Directory environment. And look, while we're chatting about Active Directory passwords and credentials, I think this might be a fine segue to tell you a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, Spec Ops Software. When it comes to protecting your organization's digital front lines, passwords are often the first and unfortunately the weakest line of defense. That is where Spec Ops Software steps in. With their breach password protection, you're safeguarding against over 4 billion compromised passwords, thanks to daily updates from leaks, live attack data, and even malware botnets. SpecOps doesn't just wait for password changes or resets like some outdated systems. They continuously scan your network and Active Directory environment for compromised credentials the same day they're discovered. They even let you create custom dictionaries to block the use of your organization's name, product names, internal lingo, anything, whatever your specific needs are. Plus, their dynamic feedback at password change helps end users create strong passwords that actually meet your organization's requirements, reducing those pesky service desk calls. So, if you're serious about password security, check out SpecOps software. You can use their breach password protection to create secure passwords in Active Directory, and get started with my link below in the video description, jh.live/SpecOps. Huge thanks to SpecOps for sponsoring this video. Alright, now what we can do for our demo is track down those password hashes, crack them to determine the clear text credential, and then log in on maybe a domain admin account. And actually, let me give you a little bit more color here, because this is a part of a Capture the Flag challenge that we had put together for the previous Huntress Capture the Flag, which, by the way, that is coming up again super duper soon for the entire month of October. Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We'll be cruising, releasing new challenges just about every single day of the month, and I hope you tune in, huntress.ctf.games. But anyway, last year, Adam put together a phenomenal challenge that's simply called MFA Fatigue, or MFA Fatigue. And we'll play with that idea in a little bit. It says, look, we got our hands on an NTDS file, and we might be able to break into a domain admin account. Can you track it down and try and log in? They might have multi-factor authentication set up though. So we have the zip archive that we've downloaded, and with that we could get into action here because Hacktricks kind of already gives us all the clues that we might need. But to add a little bit more to the creative canvas here, the scenario that was set up for this Capture the Flag challenge was actually in a Microsoft Azure Active Directory. It all still kind of works the same way, just over in the cloud, you know, someone else's computer and all that. But we have this login page, a dynamic service that was included in the Capture the Flag challenge, and maybe we wanted to try to log in to this Azure tenant. We would need to know the credentials, of course. We could try, I don't know, please subscribe, and that hit enter, but okay, we do need a domain. Login domain Huntress CTF must be specified, so that would be what we would follow through with, but we don't know any of those users. So we'll have to track those down with the ntds.dit and the system file. And if, for your own penetration tests or whatever you might be up to, if you're trying to track down that ntds.dit file, and maybe you're not using any of those other elite cool tools, look, there's nothing wrong with just using some of the classic living off the land binaries. You might have known there is an ntds util.exe. And that is one of those other Microsoft binaries that is still assigned binary to actually export Active Directory. There is a whole capability here to dump ntds.dit and all of its material into the folder that you might specify. Note that Hacktricks mentions this just as well, and you may very well be able to do this with a volume shadow copy if we're able to grab any of the backups that might have been stored on whatever host. But ultimately, we want to extract hashes from this ntds.dit file. And if we've got that and system, which we do, we can use tools like secrets dump from that Impacket suite. And this is exactly why I wanted us inside of Kali Linux, because it already has a lot of that tooling staged and set up for us. We've got our ntds.dit and system file, and it already has all of the stuff from the Impacket suite of tools and software set up and staged as commands we can run. So if you type in Impacket and then a dash or a hyphen, maybe you hit tab to autocomplete, and you can see all of the options for things that you could do with Impacket. Looks like that does include secrets dump, just as it was alluded to within Hacktricks. So we could go ahead and play with that. Let me use Impacket secrets dump, and if I don't supply any arguments, it'll give us all the usage information. But honestly, pretty simple. All we have to end up doing is passing along the files that we have here, like the security or system or SAM, any of these things. We know we have the NTD file along with the system hive, so we can include that with just that tac dash or hyphen syntax there, and it notes over as the target the positional argument that is required. You could use local if you wanted to parse local files. So we've got everything we need. Let's try to use that impacket secrets dump where we pass in system, given the system file we have in the current directory, tac ntds, given the ntds.dit file we have in the current directory, and remember we'll pass in our target, which in this case should just be the string local, telling it to work with the local files, not some other domain or Active Directory domain controller that's in the vicinity. Let me hit enter here, and you'll see, it's starting to cruise through it. And it dumped a ton of stuff. If I zoom out just a smidge, we should be able to see, if I scroll back up to the top, a couple of the users here. And there are a good many in this domain, and there are even a couple computer accounts. You'll note those with all the $ prefix, but just as it was alluding to, huntressctf.local, the domain that we were up against when trying to log in with that web page in the front end, HuntressCTF should be the actual domain, NetBIOS stuff that we could log in with. But we have all of these hashes here now. So we, at this point, could try to crack those hashes. You might use tools like John the Ripper or Hashcat. Let me actually copy all this syntax, get all this data, and I'll put it together in another text file called hashes. We could ignore all of those that had a $ for computer accounts, and honestly, if we want to just pass this to a tool like John the Ripper or Hashcat, it's probably worthwhile just to drill down on the specific hashes themselves. With that, it's kind of clean for it to figure out, okay, what data is it actually working with, and we can cross-correlate between the usernames later. So what I'll do in Sublime Text, I just like to use Control-Shift-L to get multiple cursors, and now I can move around nice and easy. Let me do that one more time, and hey, maybe use the function end or home key to just get to the start of a line or beginning of a line. Then I can use Control-Shift, move around different word boundaries with my arrow keys, because we don't really need all those usernames, and all of the beginning part of this NTLM hash isn't that useful for us. So we just need this hexadecimal value, all that's staged here in those 17 hashes. We'll save this file, and now let me run Hashcat. If you haven't ran Hashcat before, you do need to specify kind of the mode or what hash you're up against. If you aren't familiar, you could actually go take a look at some of the examples. If you take a look at the man pages for Hashcat, reading the manual, reading their examples, reading any of the stuff that it might offer in its documentation. We can scroll through this, but I actually probably will just hit the / on my keyboard so I could search for something in any of those examples to find the unique ID or the number that represents that kind of hash or the format that I'm really looking for. They also offer different attack modes as to how it's going to either brute force or work with these, but now you'll see I'm in the vicinity here to go explore any of those different hash types. You might be able to see just what we're looking for already. This is the Windows world, so we're looking at those NTLM hashes. That means that the mode or hash type we'll use here, tac M to specify that, is 1000. And tac A for the attack mode would just honestly be 0 for us. Then we need a word list for us to work with. Now, I'll just end up using rocku.txt. You might build out your own custom word list, but honestly, you're depending on the plain text password being in there. I know that relies on the user having a sensitive and insecure and weak password, which might not be the most realistic thing, considering some modern day password policies, but for the sake of our learning, that's a-okay. Let's run Hashcat with tac M1000 to note the NTLM hash format. Let's use tac A0 to specify that straight mode and operations, and we'll pass in the hashes.txt file that we'd like to go beat up and extract all the material from, and we'll need to pass in the location of our word list. Now in Kali, we do have a directory user share word lists, and rocku.txt might be a .gz file extension for you. You will need to unzip or gunzip that to get the original plaintext.txt file. With that, I'll just hit enter and let Hashcat start up and see if it can beat this thing and crack a password. It looks like it might have tracked down something. Actually, scrolling back up here, it says it's exhausted, so I suppose it's done. Did it finish? Did it find anything here? Once it has completed, we could probably just run the same command with tac show and see if it tracked anything down. And it looks like it did. One of the hashes, it denotes here that hexadecimal string with the colon to say, hey, it did determine this plain text value, Catlin99. So that is someone's password, but we kind of have to cross-correlate, hey, deconflict, who actually had that hash. So let's go back to our Sublime Text window, try to go find that. I'll just Control Z to, hey, get back all the changes that we had here. And if I Control F now to search for that specific hash, oh, we see it on that line, and that is for Jillian Dotson. Okay, and now we know that user. And now we know their password, so let's go try to use that front end, that login interface that we saw on that website, and maybe we could log in with Jillian Dotson. I believe she had an underscore rather than a period to note the name there. Let me hit enter, and okay, cool. We can enter her password. That is Catlin99. Or 99. Let me hit enter here. Ooh, okay, seemingly gave me some access, but it does have multi-factor authentication. We would need to prove sign-in request, and this is just kind of, hey, some simulated fun. But remember the name of this challenge? Hey, for our own learning, MFA fatigue, it's genuinely trying to send push notifications to that poor victim's cell phone. Hey, let me log in. Hey, please authenticate. Please say that you are being signed into this account. So what we could do, in this kind of fun gimmick here, is to send a push notification. And you'll see it up top. Hey, it did send a notification simulating all this for the fun learning and capture the flag. Let me send another, and another, and another, and just keep on clicking on this, spamming it over and over and over again until maybe just like in the Uber hack and real world scenario, like this is real. The multi-factor authentication fatigue is a very real thing if you just got an endless amount of sign-in prompts. Eventually, as we do this over and over and over again, it will let us in. Because Jillian Dotson, our poor, fake, innocent person victim target here, now just click the thing to make it go away in the middle of the night, whatever, phone going off. And we have now successfully authenticated and now tracked down our flag for this Capture the Flag challenge. And maybe you could submit that on the scoreboard for a couple points. But at the end of the day, that was small, simple, cracking password hashes and from an Active Directory environment with that ntds.dit file, using impacket secrets and just sprinkling in a little bit of multi-factor authentication fatigue. So I hope some cool fun stuff. Maybe things you hadn't explored before, or maybe a good refresher on stuff that you already were tracking. With all that said, please do give some love to our sponsors. Really, that's the only way this channel can keep doing what it is doing. I'm just so grateful for all their support and your support. So please check them out with the link in the video description. And seriously, hey, thank you so much for watching. Please do all those YouTube algorithm things, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.